from Twitch.
Yeah. That system is weirdly glitchy. Or at least anytime I've used it has been.
Yeah, but it's fine. Well, it's time to figure out what this seed has in store. So this seed specifically does not have lunacy mode. It has it shuffles the equipment and the ability permissions as well as the equipment itself, as well as the characters are in place of whom.
No duplicate characters.
No duplicate characters, however.
Golbez can be in the party potentially.
Yeah, he can be in the party. It's not necessarily always going to be that way, but it is something that can happen. I actually had a comment on one of my streams from one of the people that watched me play Lunarian Shuffle recently, saying how they were able to make a few seeds. They joined the Lunarian Shuffle Discord and all that. I was saying, and he really liked the fact that Golbez is playable.
Yep.
Anyway, are you ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go.
Alright, should I count down this time?
Go for it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off.
Okay, we're off. So welcome to a Final Fantasy IV the Lunarian Shuffle race. I am Crow. I am the person that created this particular randomizer. I'm joined today by...
me, Goku Black. Hello.
So, for anyone who may not be familiar with the Lunarian Shuffle, the idea here is that rather than randomizing what you do, the Lunarian Shuffle very thoroughly randomizes what you have. So, for example, you can see the opening cutscene going through here. It's in a fast-forwarded, pantomimed version, just to speed things along a little bit. That's the shortened cutscenes option for Lunarian Shuffle. But we have here Kain as our Dark Knight Cecil replacement. If you look at the character tracker, you will see that we have indicated that Dark Knight Cecil has been replaced by Kain. To the left, you'll see a box with a staff icon. To the right, you'll see a box with an armor icon. Once we find out more information, we will then use that in order to indicate what type of abilities it is that Kain has here, as well as what kind of equipment he can hold. The fact that he looks like Kain tells us that this character has high agility, reasonable strength, reasonable vitality, all the things you would expect from Kain. But as far as what he does in combat, whether he can jump as normal or whether he casts white magic or what have you, all of that is yet to be determined. Looks like we've got a child Rydia in Rosa's position. We have Ed in Kain's position, which is, not exciting, but there are worse places it could be.
And Poorman's spot.
Yep.
Kind of weird how, I think Rydia just breaks everything. I don't know why.
The why is pretty straightforward. It's because Rydia is not one character. She's not two characters. She's 1.5 characters. The game kind of is internally inconsistent as to whether Rydia counts as 1 or 2. So every time I do something interesting coding-wise, if anything's going to break the assumptions I made in order to try to make a new system work in the Lunarian Shuffle, it's going to be Rydia that breaks it.
Okay, it looks like we have the ninja abilities on to Edward as well as Rosa's equipment style. And Kane has a black mage equipment set along with some white magic. Don't quite know what it is yet. Do Porum and Rosa have the same starting MP?
I don't actually remember that.
Because that would be good knowledge. Yeah, it would be really good knowledge to know that. Looks like we got like a headband of some sort on Kane. Oh, that actually lowers the strength. We don't want that on.
I guess he must just have something even better on right now.
What Kane started with, the fur shirt lowers his strength by 3. Also, another thing in the Lunarian Shuffle when you're racing, it doesn't really matter if you give out equipment or character spoilers, because it doesn't really impact much. The only thing that impacts anything is the treasures along the way, and even that is not a big spoiler, because they'll be finding it anyway.
Right, the game is fairly linear, so there isn't too much to be gained or lost by telling the other player about something that they perhaps have already skipped over and can't go back to get anymore anyway.
Yeah, so this is why we don't have a hard time. We don't really care if we spoil one part. It's just like we have it anyway. That looks like Rosa's ability set on to Kane, which is not too bad.
Yeah, if we get archery later, that'll allow us to. If we get a bow and arrows later, that'll allow us to do archery.
I already
aim command, which is pretty nice.
Oh, I forgot to change my battle speed. That was my bad. I think it's third swing. Right?
So, someone who is familiar with the original game might be a little bit on the confused side regarding the equipment they're seeing here, because in the Lunarian Shuffle you can, and in this case we have, randomized what equipment exists in the game in the first place. So, in this case, I currently have on the king that's named Gilgamesh here. I have the Rod. The fact that it's called Rod tells the player that it casts the same spell that the normal Rod does in the base game. And wow, that fur coat on Edward has caused him to take intense damage from that cold mist I accidentally triggered just now.
Yeah, do you make it as a habit as to try to open your menu and actually change the battle speed and window color at the same time?
It's best to change the battle speed before you get into combat, right? I've forgotten that a few times in the past. In this case, I wound up doing it just before the Mist Dragon fight began. This did mean that I had a slightly slower fight against imps than I had to a little bit ago.
Yeah, I'm still on battle speed 3. I forgot. Oh well. It's fine. Just means this fight's just gonna go a little slower. Not too bad. It's not as bad as battle speed 6 though.
This fight is actually going to take us a while to clear, though. We don't really have good damage output in this case.
Unless... No, I'm through the Demon's fight.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I really willing to chuck an axe for this fight?
Yeah, oh, I never picked up an axe. Where was an axe?
Did you check the backside of Baron? I checked there, and I checked, like, one chest in the Mist Cave. I think the upper left one. I forget where it was, though.
Yeah, since we are going to be losing hope here, do I have anything to perform the misflip? I think I do with Kane.
Yeah,
yes,
we know sight, I think.
Oops, oh my goodness gracious. I still have to get used to this controller. Well, whatever. It should be good for the misflip. The misflip exists in the vanilla version of the game. Crow has kept it in, as it's not really too overpowering you at that point. At some point, besides, it's used in the vanilla version as speedruns anyway, so why not leave it in?
Yep. For the most part, Lunarian Shuffle leaves the glitches that were in the original game.
The only thing is taken out.
Here.
The only thing
one big exception is item duplication is out, because trivializing item acquisition is not something I want to deal with. A big part of Lunarian Shuffle is figuring out what equipment you're actually going to work with, and making that a non-factor by giving you effectively infinite money is not a great experience.
Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting robe. Well, I'll take it over the fur shirt, or any sort of means. Yeah, in the Demist fight, my cane sometimes is doing 40 damage, so...
I was getting 32s for the most part.
Alright, that's an interesting thing. Okay, I'm assuming we're both going to be performing the misclip.
Yeah, I did that just a little bit ago. What's this thing got? Oh, that's actually pretty good.
I did not have enough money to afford anything in the mist weapon and armor shops, however, when I went into the shop. So I could have sold the fur shirt, because it's kind of garbage anyway, but I didn't. I decided not to. Besides, I'd rather have dimes on Kane anyway. But that's what it is. I didn't have the rod on. I had the rod he came with equipped. The I guess kind of hog. Oh, just the. I wonder if the hog does it. What do I think it is? Yeah, it applies pick status.
So I decided to buy 10 of the arrows that were for sale in the Mist shop. We'll see if that pays off or not. Thus far, we don't have any bows, so can't actually shoot any arrows.
Yeah, I already had 10 other arrows, so I didn't really find that to be too effective. I don't just realized. Let's see. I don't want to use my vampire item, so I guess we're using a Molotov. And you can just run away. There you go. Yeah, that fight's really not hard, if you've got like a damaging item like Molotov. I could have used a vampire, but I kind of want to save that for a more difficult fight. Like Octomam or Antlion. Looks like you, sir, have that. Honestly, I don't think karate style equipment is bad for Paladin Cecil. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fine.
The only bad thing about the karate equipment is that he won't gain a whole lot of attack power very quickly, but
yeah, it's going to start at rock bottom because he's in Rydia's joining position, so he joins at level 1.
yeah.
The karate equipment style gets attack power based off of the square of your current level. So if your level is 1, then that's literally 1 attack power plus whatever bonus you get from strength.
Yeah, he's got apparently 6 right now. This is just for the sake of it, I'm gonna buy that. I'm probably gonna be coming back here later, anyway, and getting some more that are for sale. But for now, that is a fine thing. Kind of curious what's in the weapon shop. Oh, well, that's a thing. I can't see myself using another one of those. Guess we'll get rid of that. I guess.
Cat on X. Cost.
I can't see myself using that.
That costs some agility to wear.
We do have, however, a bow for sale. And I'm going to switch Gilgamesh and X. Because, well, when you use the aiming command and you're in the middle slot, you have less accuracy than when your actual fight command. So, yeah, isn't that great? But I don't really think it's gonna matter too much. I think for the most part, you know what, this is a little more out of the way. I'm kind of looking for equipment, so that tells us there's going to be someone in the near future who can go back to this. Let's see. Rosa. At least somewhat in the near future. Okay. I was correct. Yeah. I can pretty much tell. I've played this randomizer enough. Oh, wow. I don't want that on. Apparently the mediocre gauntlet decreases strength. That's interesting.
Yes. Now I say that that's the mediocre gauntlet.
Yeah. Especially if we have the kind of equipment.
Axe I picked up is going to be relevant now.
Yeah, I just picked it up with the right in Watery Pass. So, oh, there's another one. There's 2. Did you pick up 1 or 2?
Thus far, I've picked up only 1.
Okay, so there was 1 heart axe back in the first 2 chests in Watery Pass. So
I usually skip those. It feels like too much of a detour to me.
Well, I mean, if you're in search of equipment, it's not too bad, but
yeah. I felt like I was pretty okay on equipment this time.
Well, I wasn't sure what's coming up, so I wanted to be extra sure. So I've played too many seeds where I've been overconfident and then I just get destroyed. So I don't take chances anymore. Oh, nice. Got a Molotov to replace my other one.
Sweet.
Huh?
I said sweet.
Oh, I didn't 100% hear that. Yeah. Yeah, so I had used a Molotov on the officer and soldiers, so I didn't have one. And so...
They used one against a group of zombies right here.
Fun fact, the Liliths that we're going to be encountering once we get to Mount Ordeals, they give 2,700 experience apiece. 2,750 to be exact. So, when you run into encounter with 2 of them, that is a lot of experience, and that's basically what we're going to be doing later on when we're grinding. Because we are going to be grinding at some point to get the...
Yeah, it's the clear choice if you're going to grab anything there.
Yeah, just pop an alarm. And Molotov can kill both of those, but it's not always guaranteed. Liliths have about...
Switching off the axe here, the Mammon dagger I just found is a fairly significant increase in the amount of
accuracy
it has compared to the axe, and it's not that big of a loss damage wise, so I think it's probably the better choice.
Okay, so we're gonna aim here. I love Kane's special animation. It's great. I can't see X doing that much damage with his lit 1, but we might actually see that relevant. Looks like Edward's ability set on Rosa. Oh, if I'm not careful, he's gonna die. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, losing characters here means not having experience on them, which is kind of relevant for the Ant Lion fight going into the future here. If you don't have a good damage source against Ant Lion, the fight can drag on pretty far.
Luckily I've got a vampire item, so if that actually ever happens to be the case, then I do have something around it, but yeah, it is sometimes really long. Especially if the Octomam fight is turns out to be really bad on you. I have learned that. So there's... Wow, doing 72 damage with a punch with a critical hit. That's great.
Nice.
With Cecil here. Mammon Knight.
They're doing about 40 right now.
I'm probably going to keep healing Cecil up because he's taking the brunt of the damage. I kind of want Jessica to take the damage though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jessica here is taking the spot of Tella, so she has joined at level 20, which is pretty overpowered for this phase of the game. So even though she's being used as a physical attacker,
she's so strong.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good crit there too. 36. I imagine we're almost through this. Octobam has around 2,350 HP, I believe.
Sounds about right. Hey, X learned a couple of level 2 black magic spells here, so as long as he has MP going into the Ant Lion, that fight should be pretty straightforward.
And don't forget about the MP overflow glitch.
Mm-hmm.
That is left in. Get yourself.
It'll take a little time setup, but usually worth it.
Not in my case. In my case, X has 0 MP, so if he lives through this fight, it's gonna be pretty. Yeah. Everyone lived. We're good. It's gonna be pretty easy. X getting some spells here. Cure 1.
I should have stripped that dagger off of Jessica before letting her run off. Oh well.
Oh, we got lit too. That's good. That's gonna be good for the upcoming fight.
Yep.
Antlion's kind of a pain if you don't have a whole lot of damage going forward.
We have a bespectacled Funi Bard here.
Alright, Mammon, I kind of want everything that's on you. Just in case we have a certain character coming up that is going to be using it. We'll save and we'll head into Damsian.
Yeah, daggers are pretty nice in general because there's a lot of different equipment styles that are allowed to use it.
Lunar is... Yeah, Lunar is not, though.
So can Callum, so can Kane, so can Edward,
Oh, we got that.
so can Paladin Cecil. So quite a few options for who might benefit from it.
Yeah, for some reason, Fusoya can equip bows and arrows, but he cannot equip daggers. I've never understood that. It seems like most of the people that can wear bows and arrows can actually use daggers, but it's weird. Oh. Hi, old man. Which, this shows us that we will not be finding him later. Generally, Edward's replacement doesn't stay in the party for too long, so we know this Tella will not be able to stay in the party for too long. Go up to Febul and that's it.
Orm's ability set on Tella here.
That's not too bad. I mean, Tella, maybe Tella.
Gives him something to do.
I mean, he can heal.
Yep.
Generally, Tello, though, when he is a lower level, is typically a stronger physical fighter because he gains strength. He loses strength as he levels up.
Yeah, kind of a weird effect there, but that is how the game works.
He also loses vitality as he levels up, and physical natural defense. So, ninja equipment. Okay. If you have the ability to use it, Twin early on is really strong. One of the best early game skills that can be used is actually Twin. The flare attack only costs 10 MP and the comet costs 20, but they both do a lot of damage.
It is a little unfortunate that Comet costs so much whenever it's so much worse and you don't get to pick which one you cast.
But aside from that, it's really good.
Yeah, Flare is quite excellent.
I mean, to be fair though, Flare doesn't... It's like split damage between all targets, so...
Yeah, usually you're using... If you're going to commit to the Twin spell, you're usually doing that during a boss fight. So that's usually one target. I guess there's exceptions to that also, but...
Yeah, I'm also going to take this gauntlet off because why would I want it on Tella? Also, he can be in the back row. And Gilgamesh can be in the back row. Why do I not put characters in the back row? That's weird. This is going to be a very easy fight. I think it's going to be a lit 2 or 1 or 2 lit 2s and this fight's over. Maybe 3.
My X at least doesn't have a very high wisdom stat. Maybe I could have taken a little bit of time to make sure he had proper equipment to maximize that, but I wound up just burning the vampire to speed things along.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, let's just use the vampire. If I don't use it after the oh, that did 656 damage. Wow. That vampire item can be very useful. Did you use the MP overflow glitch or did you heal and?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, the MP overflow glitch basically gives you negative MP, which should not be a thing, but it is apparently. Armor, I believe, boosts your defense by 1 for every single cast.
I think it's a little bit more than that, but yeah, it does take a few stacks for it to really start being noticeable.
I do not have an exit item, so I guess we're walking out.
Yep.
I don't know if I have a Zeus Rage, so it all depends on whether I do or not if I take on a cream fight. So I do want to get Cecil here a little higher level, but only if I find a cream fight, and I didn't. Oh well, it's fine. Tella here is going to be taking on the Water Hag by himself. Hopefully, he can hit. I've had a few situations where he just refused to hit with anything.
He should be fairly safe because we can have him in the back row with the boomerang there.
I wasn't actually concerned about him being in the back row. I was concerned, or not survival. I was worried about him actually hitting.
Oh. It might take a few tries. We'll see.
Yeah. Because Tella generally does not hit physical attacks very well.
So, when the Lunarian Shuffle makes a weapon, for the most part, its stats are likely to match what you would expect that sort of weapon to have, but it has a chance to be something significantly different. So, in the case of a boomerang, it's going to have okay hit rate, but not great. It's going to have okay but not great damage, but it's going to do full damage from back row, that sort of thing. Similarly, rods and staves tend to increase your magic stats if they give you stat bonuses, whereas axes will pretty often give you vitality, swords will often give you strength, that sort of thing.
Is he gonna hit 3 times in a row? There's no way. He's hit twice in a row.
I'm missing quite a bit here.
Hold up. Is he gonna actually hit 3 times in a row? He did! Tello the Pog Champion. Wow.
We're pretty close to tied up again.
That!
That's Rydia joining our party. Because Rydia is joining in a slot that will leave the party and rejoin. That means that right now she's joining as a child, and when she rejoins later, she will be an adult. When she makes that change, she's going to transform her ability style and her equipment style also. So the identity she has right now is likely to change by the time we see her again, just before the Valvalis fight.
Yes. So that's generally how it works. But a dual-wielding chief, jeez.
That is very interesting. Double heart axe means she now has a ridiculous amount of physical defense also. Yeah, this is a rather unusual heavy-duty front-lining Quistis we've got here, and I want to say that's probably the Paladin ability set based off the spells I was seeing. So, yeah, that's actually pretty interesting.
I'm going to use bow and arrows to put sticker in the back, however, but
I think dual-wielding axes is just too good to pass up. That's my opinion.
I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm just saying I'm going to be back girl glitching her so she doesn't die in the front row.
Oh, right. I think the axes will actually keep her safe. We'll find out soon enough. I don't have anyone who can wear that just yet. Alright, Golbez in Yang's position.
So, Crow, do you want to explain how you put Golbez into his stats and everything?
Sure. So, Golbez here obviously is not a complete character in the original game. He has some combat art. We did have to flesh out the rest of his animations, which I believe that was SBQ SBQ and Ryuzak were the ones that contributed towards that. So big thanks to them. There's also a portrait available for him as well, which is quite nice also. Obviously that's not in the original. Oh, and he just got splatted. Oh well.
Must have horrible, horrible attack on his weapon. Because doesn't he start with a good amount of health?
He has a fair amount of health, but not very much defense power, it looks like.
It'd be kind of sad if he had Tella's equipment set. Is he like a... What's his ability set anyway? Is it that's really helpful if I find a Iridia ability set. Though.
Well, anyway, as far as stats go, Golbez is more or less a tanky mage, kind of what it comes down to. So, Golbez will have quite a bit of HP compared to most mages. He'll have quite a bit of MP if you have his base abilities. He has, however, not all that much wisdom and just okay strength.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a tanky mage, which he does pretty well. Oh wow, that's a lot of attack power. That was a lot for that kick. That was a staff. Wow, there's just one left now. My Golbez finished off the Imp captains. I don't know, maybe I got good rolls.
Here come the exploding bombs.
Yes, that is the Paladin Cecil ability set on Rydia. That is Adult Caller. Great, awesome. That means that that Mage Summon I picked up on the left side of Hobbs is going to come into effect.
Here's something neat. With the double heart axe equipped, Rydia's vitality is so high that she revives from life 1 with 90 HP out of 110 max.
Now here's an even better thing, is if she gets revived at more HP than what she actually has. That is a possibility.
But does it actually... I think it would cap her back down. I don't think it would actually keep you...
No, I've actually revived Rydia, base level Rydia, with really good equipment in Free Enterprise, and she came with, like, she went up, like, it was like more than 30 HP. So there is a ability to be able to be revived at more HP than you actually have. So
I would expect the game to just cull it back down at its earliest opportunity, but maybe it doesn't.
yeah, just from my past experiences, I've had that. So I'm just going to assume that Tella's just going to perish here. Tella and maybe Cecil. Oh, no, just Cecil. Okay. I'm just going to use an hourglass here so I can get everyone back up and stuff like that. Without too much worrying. Please don't die, Rydia. You're using a life potion. Get back up, Tella. I really want to get everyone
Good answer for this fight, so I'm actually just going to run away from it. Gargoyle plus 2 cockatrices.
Where is it?
I don't remember if we mentioned it yet or not, but we currently have the rarer but harder to run from fights option on. This causes the game to only throw 1/7 as many fights your way as the base game does. However, with every fight that you encounter, you do have to deal with eating a lot more damage if you try to flee from it.
Which is honestly, it's a good mix and match.
Ooh, that's kind of...
Because Crow does not want to be able to you actually turn off encounters, so it's what he did in the replacement of it. Because if you're going through dungeons and you can just turn encounters off, what's the challenge in that, right?
Yeah, it's a big part of what the casual experience is. Kind of the way I think about it is, if everything is going great with Lunarian Shuffle, I want playthroughs of the Lunarian Shuffle to feel more like playing the game for the first time again than actually playing the original game again would. little things that nudge you in the direction of actually having to do what the game's about. Goes a long way there.
Yeah, and so taking off to say, you know, encounters, to be able to turn them off in the menu or whatnot, not really something Crow was going for. That was mentioned once in suggestions, but he made this instead.
Mm-hmm.
For obvious reasons. We're going to be losing X here, along with the very, very, very strong Rydia.
Yeah, a little disappointing to lose this Rydia for now, but we'll survive.
We'll also be getting a different equipment and ability set back later for this specific Rydia. She'll be grown up by that point. I can't remember. There was something you said about my thing I submitted in bug reports about Rydia screwing things up again. What was the whole thing about that you had to fix?
That is a potential problem regarding the amount of MP that Rydia gets. If she gets the Golbez ability style, her MP might not match that appropriately.
So, in other words, all you have to do is let the game know that Golbez is an actual ability set for Rydia?
Specifically that if Rydia has Golbez's abilities, that is something that uses MP.
That makes sense. I mean, you know, it does make sense. I can see it. Don't really want to spend my money on that stuff right now. Let's move on to this. I want to get a few alarms for the grind fight that's going to be coming up later. I don't want to get too many alarms, but 4 should do for right now. Depending on the Paladin Cecil replacement and whatnot. Oh, I forgot to mark off the equipment and ability set that he has. There's a Bolt Rydia. Yeah, Rydia seems to break more things than I've ever seen. You said that she was considered 1.5 characters, right?
Basically. So the game divides up the data for characters between actors and jobs. Rydia has 2 jobs, 2 actors, but only 1 level up table. And only 1 spell list, 1 set of spell lists. So it's kind of all over the place as far as what the game considers her to be.
So when you shuffle it around, that kind of gets when you separate her ability and equipment set, it gets a little weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I did pick up the Mage Summon and the Left of Hobbs.
Oh, is that where that was? Would have been nice here. I do not usually make the dive over to that area.
Yeah, it really was a good asset. It's gonna be a good asset here. Yeah, the Mage Summon. I went, oh, Mage Summon. That'll be good. Mage Summon is one of the 4 summons that would normally drop from certain enemies, but Crow made it so that you can actually find those in treasure chests, and some of them in shops, like the Imp Summon. Imp Summon you can find in shops. Bomb Summon you can find in shops, I know that. I don't think I've ever seen a Cockatrice in a shop, though. I don't think that's possible.
It should be possible. I think it's a slightly higher level item drop as far as the placement of items is concerned, so it would probably have to be in, like, I guess maybe it's too low level for the dwarf area, but too high level elsewhere, so I guess that may leave it as only possible in the Silvera shop and the past shop in Troya, and those are kind of hard places to justify checking. But I think it could potentially show up in either of those places.
I think I get it because the fact that it's too high for it's too you can't be a dwarf castle, and it can't be in any of the early shops. It can't be in the early game shops as far as the game's concerned in Dwarf Castle. So it's got to be in one of those.
The number of chests that it can potentially be in, so you will see it occasionally.
Yeah, it's just not too overly seen. I don't really see it happening too much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's our Golbez then.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I just... My, mother in particular was saying that I'd actually have to have a brain for this specific thing, and I said, you beat me every single time, whether I have a brain or not. So, why do I have to have a brain for this?
Would be doing okay so far.
Yeah, I kind of didn't sleep last night.
Oh. You should try to get sleep when you can.
Yeah. Is there a reason why Edward can have the name Hope?
I believe that's a Final Fantasy 14 reference?
No, Hope is from Final Fantasy 13.
Okay, 13, sure. That one.
But I'm curious.
Not a Final Fantasy I've actually played, either way.
Okay. Mop is not playable.
Not this time.
Not this time. Oh, I'm gonna laugh. I mean, who do we have left that could possibly be the Paladin Cecil replacement?
Palom is available. Edge is available. Getting a lot of harps all of a sudden here. Dark Knight Cecil is unaccounted for. Sid is unaccounted for.
Isn't Palom available too? I don't think we've seen Palom yet. Am I correct in that?
Letting Tella run off with a boomerang here. Since duplicate characters are off, that was the last opportunity I was ever going to have to use a boomerang. So losing it that way is no big deal.
Yeah, I unequipped it because I'm probably going to be selling it later. So that's probably, depending on what the actual, depending on the whole shops and the shop in Mysidia, the item shop specifically.
Yeah, Mysidia is often an important shopping trip. It's a pretty substantial tick upward from everything you had available previously. So, with randomized equipment, it's not clear what you're going to get there, but it is often pretty good.
Yeah. The only problem is if you spend too much money on one certain shop, that it becomes a little more difficult to manage your money when you're going to the weapon armor shops. But the Lunarian Shuffle will always give you what you have access to at that certain point.
Yeah, any equipment that you receive should be something that a character from that point in the game or later would be able to use. So, you might be getting stuff that only your Fusoya replacement can use, but still,
you can still use it.
Someone should be able to use it at some point.
You can still use it, so it's going to give it to you. Unless you have super hard mode on, then it's that's not a thing.
Yep. Super hard mode just is mean at every opportunity that it has.
Yeah. I've done a few of them myself. Not the best thing to do when you're just starting out. So that's a yawn. And a Palom. A vanilla Palom, even. Not every day you get to see that. Dark Knight Mage? So, Golbez's equipment style includes rods. Whereas Dark Knight Cecil's doesn't. So that's pretty much the only difference in terms of what they can use. I don't know why, do you know, like, I guess, you know, kind of makes sense that he could wear rods at some point, because he is, like, a mage.
That you can use rods?
Golbez.
Oh. That was an often requested feature change. I eventually decided to just go for it. But originally I had just the Dark Knight style equipment, but since he is a mage, it does make some sense for him to be able to do that.
Yeah, so I can kind of see it. Also, we have another dual-wielding character.
Yeah, I don't actually have a second rod for him right now, the way I did the rest of my shopping, so...
Oh, I had,
I can get a dagger, though, if I sell for it.
Oh, right, I forgot. Young Caller, I do have a whip. I have a bad whip.
Better get rid of that.
You did? Oh, man. Yeah, don't get rid of that whip, because it's relevant here. So if you press the select button when you're in the shop, it will tell you exactly what the equipment can do. That's a new feature that Crow has added in the recent update.
Yeah, it is the most recent feature add, actually. That also works in the inventory menu. As of yet, at least, it does not work in the equipment menu, though.
So the Lorca, so the Lorca helmet increases your defense by 3. Does not increase your evasion at all. Increases your magic defense and your magic evasion by 1, and gives you 5 vitality. That is a feature that they have put in there. So you can just say, I'm gonna press select, and you can tell one by one what the equipment can do. Oh, it looks like this one, yeah. The fur's pretty bad. In terms of strength. Looks like, looks like that one prevents sleep and curse, and is magnetic. I don't really want to buy anything of that nature here, but I have barely any money. That's good to know. I'm gonna get rid of these mediocre gauntlets that I've got an abundance of. Not gonna be seeing a spot where we're actually going to be using that.
Yeah, the gold value placed on heavy armor, like the original game, is a little bit higher than what their actual usefulness would usually imply.
I'm gonna go and see what this rock bow is. Surely better than the other one. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it rocks. I'm out of arrows though, so...
I'm not. I got a few left. Not a big deal. Can get rid of that. I don't need any of the boomerangs, so can get rid of those. The magma harp should and always be fire elemental. Because the names, where the way the names are, generally what you know about the name should be what it does. So like magma, anything should be fire elemental. Anything iron should be magnetic. Fire 1 rod does fire 1 spell. So stuff like that.
Yep. To be more precise, when the Lunarian Shuffle creates a piece of equipment, it starts by rolling some random initial stats, and then it goes shopping. And it goes shopping with a certain number of goodness points and badness points, and purchases random upgrades. Based off of the random upgrades it gets, it gains the ability to potentially have certain types of names. So if it increases your strength, then that'll unlock some stuff. If it increases your agility, that'll unlock different names, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so Crow, being the one who made this randomizer, will be able to tell you a lot more in detail in technical stuff than I will be able to. Because if you put code right in front of my face, like actual deep game code, I don't know. I'm not even sure what I'm looking at. But yeah, I can beta test. That's not a problem. I actually beta test a few versions of this. Crow also, and I'm actually gonna say this again, at some point he needs to update the mobile version.
Yep, I do.
So Sorry, I'm just making a joke out of this because how long has it been since you have updated the mobile version?
It's only one version behind, but that version was a while ago, so depends whether you measure by length of time or number of updates.
I'm going by length of time.
So in that case, it's been a while.
Yep, so I'm all tough on those zombies specifically to get my characters up a little more because even though Rose is going to be coming back with something, with her Paladin Cecil equipment set, I don't really think the Mylon fight is going to be easy. I mean, funny enough, Kane doesn't even have Cure 2 yet. He's level 17. That's just so weird.
Yeah, the exact level you learn spells is randomized. I forget how much by, it's like plus or minus 6, 7 levels from the base amount, something like that.
The Lunarian Shuffle program says it's +5 to -5.
Okay, that may well be correct.
So, if that's correct, then there you go. But I don't have anything to get. No, you know what? We're gonna do this again because I do want Rosa to be able to be in the back row. Even though she's got 535 HP, she's probably not going to last too long in the front with only 13 defense. So she will be able to survive better in the back row. We are coming across the final 2 fights that we're going to be having this Kane for.
A little disappointing because this Kane's actually pretty good overall.
Yeah, Kane gets more will than he does wisdom, so the fact he has white magic is great. Actually, you know what? We're gonna tent up. You know, it's kind of funny that when I first said that to my mother, she didn't even know what I was talking about when I said I'm gonna tent up. Apparently, she doesn't know that when I say that, it means I'm gonna use a tent. I was like, how do you not know what that means? I say it all the time. Alright, let's zerk up someone. I think I'm gonna zerk up Yang, actually.
Yeah. I believe the rod he's got is fire elemental, so...
Oh, I have 2 knives on him. With, like around 60 attack power.
Mm-hmm.
So, I bought 1 delicate... Yeah, he's doing 400 damage while being berserked. I don't think this... I don't even think this fight's gonna last too long. I don't see Mylon lasting too long. I don't really see Mylon lasting too long. You on Mylon Z, I'm assuming?
Getting Paladin percent pretty soon here. I'm right about to fight the mirror guy.
Oh. Yeah, Rose is not even doing nearly as much as Yang is. If I had an hourglass, if I had not burned it earlier, I would be using it here. Because if you attack, if you hourglass the gas, Mylon will just say something like, "Go, my children," or something like that, and that's all he'll say. And that's all the actions he will do as long as the gas are alive. If the gas are dead, however, that's a different story. He's a lot more dangerous if the gas are dead. I don't know, is he like trying to avenge his children or something? He does say that they're his children.
I'm not sure if that's literal or figurative. I mean, he's commanding a bunch of undead, so I guess if you're the person that caused a dead body to become undead, then you call that undead your child, maybe? I guess. It's not something most people have to really spend too much time thinking about.
Yeah, well, when you see, I don't know if you know this feeling, but when you start recording things, you think of things that you wouldn't think of before. Like these unusual thoughts that I'm having recently. Now Mylon's going to be apparently very, very surprised that his body is fading away. Hey, we got Blink and Cure 2 on Kane finally. And what level was that? 18? I want to say, yeah, 18. Finally. About time. Let's see here. What element is... He does not have an element on any of these. I don't think even with the... What, like... 4 times damage, I think? Because it's Fire Elemental... Apparently the Gale arrow is Fire Elemental. I don't think that if I Zerk him specifically, that Mylon C is going to taking less damage, or sorry, more damage than like Young would at this point. I could be totally wrong there though. If you've got white arrows, or a certain white elemental in an arrow, you can do 8 times damage, which is great.
Right. Because that's the 2 times damage for the elemental aspect, and then 4 times damage for race. Doesn't matter how many of the races or how many of the elements you match. It's just have you matched each of those that contributes.
I'm gonna see if I can see if which one's doing more damage, the bow and arrow, or oh, that was just one hit. That was just one hit. Yeah, oh, not bad. We hit that was 200. I think Young is still going to do more damage, though. I mean, this fight is not threatening at all, but I'm just testing things out here. Yeah, Young has a very consistent 300 to 400 damage, so... I'm sure if the bow and arrow had more accuracy, that Kane would be doing a lot more damage.
Well, you can always use aim.
Yeah, well, there's a problem with aim. I only had one arrow left.
In the middle slot.
No, not that. It's not that I was concerned about. I only have one arrow left.
Yeah. In that case, you have to berserk in order to get past that, I guess.
Yeah. Only having one arrow means that once you throw the arrow and your turn comes up, you lose the arrow permanently. We're about to...
if you berserk a character, it never actually makes that check, so you keep the single arrow indefinitely.
Yeah. So it's kind of important. Also, I do not remember what ability set was on Palom and Young. So, child Bridia. Okay. So I do know what the stuff is on this specific character. It's Young Ridia's equipment set. Or excuse me, Young Ridia's ability set with Adult Ridia's equipment set.
Yep.
And like when I saw that the Bad Whip could be equipped, I went, okay, I know what it is. I knew right away. Because we already had a Rydia equipment set.
So at this point I am probably going to be checking the shops for a whip to buy. Not to hold on to permanently, just simply because that will allow me to get rid of it and put the back row glitch onto Edge here. If the character can ever do full damage from back row, that's because they have boomerang, bow and arrows, whatever, that property sticks permanently.
You could also use a whip.
Flip on the long-range weapon, switch over to the normal weapon, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, you could also use a whip. You don't have to use bows and arrows.
Yep.
I don't know if you have a whip right now, but I do.
Not right now. I think one was available in the shop. I know one was at Fagul. I think there was also one in the Mysidia shop, but I don't remember for sure on that one.
Because I have a Bad Whip. I think I got in a chest though. Okay, so this is going to be, I want to get Edge up a little higher. The thing about Edge is that he has really, really good speed.
Yep.
But, and it's okay wisdom. Not too good, not too bad. He will get Cure 2 at Dwarf Castle.
Which is where this run ends, so
Yeah.
not super relevant, but technically for the fight against Golbez himself, he will have Cure 2.
Yeah. So I don't. Is it explained what? Like, do you actually have a reason why they decided, hey, let's give Rydia Cure 2, but also take it away. Take away her ability to use white magic.
I have to assume that removing white magic from Rydia whenever she aged was a late decision in the process. That for a lot of the time they must have left her with basic white magic all the way through to the end of the game. Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense to go out of your way to add white magic at that point.
It really doesn't. Like, why? I have 7 alarms in total. I don't know. I just used my last Molotov. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this specifically. Maybe Yang? Maybe a multi-target fire 1, and then... okay, Yang has his own ability set, that's what I wanted to realize. And you've got Sid, okay. Yeah, I think Yong's just gonna do this by himself with his focus. So, focus lowers your defense, but gives you double damage for 1 hit. I don't really think that's too bad of an issue, though. Too much of an issue, just because of the fact that it's not super relevant in most cases that it lowers your defense. But there are some spots where that is relevant, but not too common.
So I just actually made use of a mute though. I wasn't trusting my damage to one-shot the guards. So to shut down their counterattacks, I threw a mute though at them.
Oh right, because you don't have 2 daggers on your Yang, do you?
I do not, no.
That would make sense then. If you use magic on them, they will use Piggy, and if you use physical attacks on them, basically the fight command, then they will counterattack with size. However, Yang's focus goes through that. So if you ever wanted to bypass it with Yang, you can just use focus. Easy fix. Be grinding a little bit more. I'm gonna use my last 4 sirens here. Shouldn't take too long. Lowest fights are super easy anyway. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Crow, but I believe the Baron guards themselves only have around 200 HP each.
Somewhere around there. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, I remember because the spot when I was playing Free Enterprise had around 400 HP, so I went, you know, there's 2 Baron guards, so maybe about that much? Maybe about 200 each? The only issue I have with Rydia's ability set is the fact that she doesn't gain her spells super quickly, unlike Palam's. That's the only issue I have with it. How much? Oh, that is definitely an issue. Oh, Palam's doing more damage than Rosa is. That's kind of... I don't even know what to say to that. How in the world is...
Hey, what weapon do you have on Rosa right now?
The Jidikyu sword. I guess that's how you pronounce that?
Yes. Yeah, I want to say that's what I have on her also. She hasn't been serving me too badly. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Does Palam have more strength? No? I guess it's
so.
The Gigas.
Unless something weird's going on with the equipment you have on each of them.
I wonder if it's the fact that Palam has 39 attack power with around 90 some accuracy. I wonder if she's just not hitting enough. Because Palam has more accuracy, so it kind of makes sense, I guess. Think about it that way. For people who actually want to play the entire game through to the end, there is a few grinds that you could do if you're finding the game to be a slight difficulty towards the end. There is a couple spots on the underground to actually gain levels that way. Use an alarm, call a egg or a what is it, a yellow dragon, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, yellow dragon in an egg.
Yeah, so it doesn't, it gives around 34,000 experience. That's pretty good. The King Ryus give a little more than that per fight, and you can summon them in multiple locations as well. The second floor in Cape Bahamut, as well as some of the floors in the Lunar Subterranean. But generally, when you're dealing with King Ryus, you definitely want to bring an Hourglass with you. And maybe some Berserk to speed the fight up. Whereas, you can just do enough damage pretty easily to kill the egg. Plus, the egg doesn't really fight back.
Yeah, that's a big part.
Whereas the King Ryu...
If you deal it non-lethal damage, then it does get pretty nasty pretty quick. It is a strong monster. That's why it's worth so much experience. But in an egg, you get to set up however you want. As long as you kill it in one shot, maybe two, you should be fine.
Yeah, so it's a big deal if you actually, like... Okay, so the egg can be coffined. So you can use a coffin on the egg. That's an instant one-shot. It's guaranteed. So the King Ryus can be Hourglass. They both can be Hourglass, but the King Ryus cannot be coffined. So they can, however, be weaked. But by that point, unless you have Tella's ability set, you're probably not going to have it by that point. Unless you do like a massive amount of grinding. So, our love interest, I laugh. I would absolutely love to see these two actually get together. Rydia and Edge.
Yeah, that's who we've got.
Yeah, because you know Edge really loves Rydia. Rydia's not interested in him though. I am going to use the inn before I actually do take on this fight. I'm not at full HP and MP. Good thing about the inn in Baron is it only costs 50 GP. The most expensive inn in the entire game is the Feymarch at 1200. That's just not even worth it.
That's more than a cabin there, right?
So what is it like? Yeah, it's I think cabin's like what, 1,000?
I believe that's correct.
And that's enough to get like what, 12 tents? That's like 12 tents in one. So the easy way to get rid of or to win the karate fight is just to let the young replacement get 2 kicks in, use the fight command with the paladin successor replacement. I don't think it really matters if he hits or not. I think the battle still ends either way. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it's just the fight command. Doesn't have to hit, just needs to count as the fight command.
And it only works on the paladin successor replacement, so I guess it kind of makes sense. You know, you got the... You know, he gets hit on the head and You get... Oh, apparently, okay. That's something I forgot to do earlier. Well, good thing to know. I didn't actually take my equipment off of them.
Oh.
That's, man, most of the time I do, but maybe I was distracted with something else. Also, I thought this gauntlet said something else, so that's something that's in my mind, apparently. Still have not found any particular arrows in any of the shops, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of a dearth of those.
I'm like, well, did you say Mist had arrows?
Yes, it did.
So I think it's the first instance of any arrows we've seen in any shop, which is... It's weird for me, because normally I see an abundance of that stuff.
Part of the randomizer is not knowing what you're going to get.
But normally I have an abundance of that. So it's... Alright, mute bell.
I'm presently fighting Knazo. The way this fight works is periodically Knazo will raise a water wall around himself. You have to hit him with lightning magic in order to make him drop that. Doesn't matter how much damage you deal as long as it's any amount of lightning. He's weak against lightning when the water is up, weak against ice when the water is down. He will actually get an evasion stat whenever he hides in his shell. Usually, you don't have to worry about enemies using their evasion because the game doesn't actually load the evasion stat whenever the fight starts.
Unless...
However, in this case, because the evasion stat is changing in the middle of the fight, that concept does not apply.
Yes, and the only kind of instance that you see enemies actually changing and actually apply their evasion stat is when they change it mid-battle.
Yep.
So...
And that would be Knazo and Valvalis only. No one else does it.
Yeah, so that's why you'll see most of the time you're not going to see misses when it comes to physical attacks, with the exception of Valvalis and Knazo. I don't know what Square was thinking. Is that like something like that was they forgot to do?
Hmm?
Is that like something they forgot to do?
Out of curiosity, at one point I actually made a patch to make the game load those stats properly, and I tried playing the game that way, and it kind of sucks. The evasion values that are in the game don't really make a heck of a lot of sense, and in particular, casting magic and having the enemy evade that feels really bad. So, it's possible, it's not clear, but it is possible that they intentionally made that section of code not work so that they could keep the same data in there in case they decided, you know what, we do want evasion after all, but for now we'll just leave it off. And they never brought it back in.
Yeah, because I think they did that throughout the entire Final Fantasy IV stuff. I know in Final Fantasy VI you cannot miss. There's no absolute way for you to miss in the Super Nintendo version. I don't think accuracy was a thing, and I don't think evasion. Definitely evasion was not a thing. Also the blind status never worked. So, and also, can I just say how easy this Bigan fight is?
Which fight?
The Baigen fight.
Oh. I found it to be kind of normal. We didn't have anything to like totally blow out the fight trivially.
Yeah,
it takes a little while, but
it
never felt like I was in any danger.
I wasn't in any danger, but I definitely found that fight easy. I think it's mainly due to the fact that I have 2 knives on this Yang.
That'll help.
Yeah, so, but we're about to lose that Yang, so, you know, it kind of feels bad, but if we're not going to run across the Dark Knight Cecil equipment set, then we will not, from this point onward, get Dark Swords. That's how the randomizer works.
We actually have Dark Knight equipment on the Porum replacement, as it turns out. Not the Porum replacement, on Porum, who is replacing Sid.
Okay, so past Sid, we will not see any more Dark Swords. So that is good information, but if you were playing a normal playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to see. I want to keep these harps around because we haven't seen a bard equipment type yet, and we know that we're going to see it at some point. And if we get it soon, it's probably going to be on Rydia. So I don't really want to specifically do that. Let's see. I don't have a whole lot of inventory space right now. Like, legitimately, after I take this one knife off, I am going to be full in inventory space. Also, don't be the person who forgets to, if you press the menu button when, right after that cutscene, and the game soft locks. Actually, it's a hard lock, I think.
Pretty unpleasant.
You have to redo both fights if you didn't go back for it. Yeah, don't be that guy.
More, depending on when you saved.
Yeah, it could be more. That is very true. Yeah, not very pleasant. I have to say that is not a very pleasant experience. I went through that many times. So let's see here. Let me just see which is going to do more damage. What's the formula for kick again? I can't remember.
My recollection is that it is 50% of your attack damage times your attack multiplier. In the base game, it is simply your attack damage. No multiplier involved. So it's as if you were doing an attack with 0 strength in the original, which is not a lot.
So in some cases, the attack multiplier could do more damage than, say, your physical attacks if you have nothing on. Is that a thing?
Yeah, in In the original, there was basically no reason to do kick unless you were trying to deal damage to a mass group of enemies.
Which
here you will occasionally feel okay about using kick against a single target if you have particularly low accuracy on the weapon you're trying to strike with.
I don't think it consumes an arrow either.
It does not. That is correct. Doesn't come up too often though.
I think for this specific fight here, I'm gonna burn my blizzard at him. And the fight's over. Palom's, you know, he's just taking a nap. That's fine. He's leaving anyway. Not a big deal.
Swatting those cave bats took forever.
Oh yeah, I hate those things. I think Ed just got virus. Yeah, I think
mine has not gotten that yet. It may be that you've spent more time than I did.
Well, I did burn 7 alarms.
Grinding Liliths.
Yeah, I burned 7 alarms, so.
Okay, yeah, I did, I think, 4.
I think I found, what, 2 in chests, bought a total of 5? So I had 7 in total. I bought one time, and then 4 another time, and I apparently had 2 more in my inventory, so.
Actually, I have any way to make Golbez magnetic, so unfortunately I have to sit through the whole Dark Elf business.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm really behind. Do not press the menu button, whatever you do. That is a vanilla soft lock. Actually, I think it's a hard lock, right? Would it be a hard lock?
I consider it a hard lock. It doesn't, it's just a matter of terminology there. My opinion is that a hard lock involves the game engine no longer functioning. Soft lock involves the game engine technically working, but the game becoming unable to move forward. So, in the case here, your screen just fades to black and then stops there. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's a hard lock.
Alright, Hermes is not great. I was kind of hoping for something else. Oh, speaking of, okay, we got Dark Knight equipment here. It's kind of funny how, we had, Golbez, equipment style on Palom, and now we have Dark Knight Cecil's equipment set on, Porum.
Yep.
Kind of ironic. Golbez abilities as well. I can tell you right away, because we have Drain, Ice 2, Lit 2, and Fire 2. That I can tell right away. Do we have any form of exit? I think I have 1 exit item.
I don't think I ever found any.
You never found any?
No.
Okay.
The Rydia spellcasters do have warp, which is better than nothing, but still not ideal.
Yeah, it's not the best way to exit out of there. You know, warping. What do you think is the most absurd way to leave a dungeon? Warping or walking out? I literally just did an update earlier today. Why is it saying that there's an update on my computer? Literally earlier today, I restart my entire computer and do some updates. And now it's saying, oh hey, we got some more updates for you.
Mhm.
I literally, like, a few hours before we got into voice chat, I had. This is ridiculous. Sometimes I wonder what Windows is thinking. Leave me alone, bats. Go away. Jeez. Does it normally take that long to escape from bats?
The big problem is just how ridiculously long the sucking animation takes. So, yeah, they will get a few rounds of attacks, and that is going to suck.
Yeah,
They are pretty fast.
yeah, they are. We have a fast character in the party, though. Yeah, Rose is just gonna decide, hey, I'm gonna hide. That auto hide is so annoying. Well, let's put the legend knife back on you. Do you have anything metallic? Let's see.
I was unable to make my last character metallic.
I think we got a different kind of arrow. Let's see. Well, it is a better arrow. Let's see.
Yeah, the arrow I found in that cave was the same kind that was available in Mist Village.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do the same. Oh my goodness. Oh, let's just pretend that, let's just pretend the timer's still running.
You gotta get stopped somehow.
Let's pretend the timer's still running. I haven't done that in a while. Apparently I was outside of the, actual, emulator window. That's hilarious. Apparently I was on the timer. Wow. Let's just start the timer back up. Hey guys, you've only been going for a few seconds. Oh, that's great. I'm just saying that's hilarious that I did that again. I don't know why I do that sometimes. It's great. I have the same hotkey, the same key on my keyboard that I have for resetting the emulator as I do resetting the timer, so sometimes that does come into effect.
That seems like it's asking for trouble.
I know I need to change that at some point, but haven't got around to doing it yet. I haven't done this in a while. Let's try this again. Yeah, my brain didn't work. I got too much into talking and I totally forgot that we have to get the twin harp. before going up here.
That's not a fun one to forget.
That's when I hit the reset button and then realized the mistake that I just did. I made 2 mistakes today. Resetting the timer was probably the biggest one. Should I even run with the timer now? Or should I just close it?
At this point, it's not useful information on the stream, so I don't know if you should close the window or instead just simply not turn it on and just leave it at a bunch of zeros. But in any case, just don't mislead your viewers, right?
Yeah, so I think, yeah, we're just gonna leave it at 0. I know I forgot to pick up the Twin Heart because, he said, "You fools." On a positive side, though, I can go quickly into the next cutscene because Golbez is KO'd and the rest of my team is metallic. So that's good. Yeah, I hate that. I hate when I get so into talking that I forget what I'm doing. Oh, I'm just saying, I haven't done that in a while. That's great. I think I know why I forgot to pick up the Twin Harp. I think it was because I normally do the castle first, but for some reason I didn't do it this time. I did the town first. My question for you is, Crow, can the Mage Summon be used on Dark Elf's dragon form?
Dragon form is immune to stun, which is one of the things that summon attempts to do. But I don't think that blocks the damage. I honestly don't remember for 100% sure, though. At one point, I definitely knew the answer for that question for sure.
Well, we're about to find out. Yeah, we're gonna find out though, because I am actually really curious. I don't, because this isn't a threat, right? Like you got, it's not that the threat. Okay, it does work on him.
Okay.
I now know the answer to that question. That's good knowledge. You're gonna get Hourglass, so you don't continuously knock down Edge. The weak from Dark Elf hit Edge, which was the absolute worst target to actually hit. I was like, really? You're gonna hit that character? So I guess Mage actually works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it stuns though, but yeah, we did have an Hourglass lying around, so hey, at least we didn't forget to pick up the Earth Crystal. That's something I'm gonna say. I have done that before. I have to say though, I have not forgotten to pick up the Twin Harp in a few years. So That's a new occurrence for me again. Alright, moving on to the Magnet Sisters fight that's going to be coming up. I'm guessing you're in the underground, right?
I'm actually still at the Magic Sisters fight. I don't have a whole lot of damage output for this fight, so it's going a little slow.
Do I have any... I don't think we have run across any sort of mage killing gear, have we?
Not that I've seen.
Oh wow, why am I not using this sword? It is so much better. The only thing that it decreases is 2 strength, and it gives me, what, like, double the attack power? Almost? Like, almost double the attack power. And more accuracy. Doesn't lower a sub-hit. I don't know why I'm not using that in Rosa, but... Well, lesson learned. Also, I have 3 pings, so let me just go ahead and make sure I know what it is. Let me see what this is. Okay, I now know where the pings came from. I'm part of the Soden community, so... I get the race pager roll. I think right before we go up to Zot, I think it would be an important factor to actually use the inn. We are pretty beaten up. Yeah, it's time for the boss gauntlet.
Four boss fights in a row. Each of the fights has a different party that you have to work with, and has a very different set of things you need to have ready in order to get through it. So, Major Sisters fight here, the gimmick is that the character that you really want to take down is the one in the middle that has a little more HP than the others and usually has a wall. But she'll revive her allies if they are dead and she's still up. So you need to look out for that. The next fight, Valis has this thing where she spends most of her time spinning. In this case, we do not have the jump command, so she'll be spending her entire time spinning. Unless we get the jump command from Rydia when she rejoins here, which is possible but not super likely. While Valis is spinning, her agility is... her evasion is high, and her magic defense is perfect. You literally can't affect her with any magic at all. White magic turns out to usually be the thing that matters most in that fight. Then there's Calbrena, which is dominated by anything that does damage to the full enemy screen at once. And then there's the Golbez fight where you have basically only Paladin replacement and Rydia replacement to work with.
Unless you're able to revive. By either life potions or the life one spell, because you're probably not going to have anything else by that point. To revive with. If you do have life 2, then you way over leveled, then you don't even need to worry about the fight. Unless you have the Tele ability set, and at which point you only have 90 MP to work with. Sounds like a fair assumption, right?
What is?
if you have life 2, you probably over-leveled, or you have Tella's ability set. And at which point you only have 90 MP to work with. So you can only life 2 one
time. For the
time.
Golbez fight, it would be pretty unusual to have life 2 available.
Unless you completely over-leveled massively for hours upon hours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you've got alarms and they're for sale in Basidia, you could technically pop some alarms up there in the top ordeals, and when you run out of alarms, you could come down and buy more, grind some more, and rinse and repeat. Let's see here.
Okay, so we've got Edward back, and we get to find out now what Adult Rydia is like. Adult Rydia, she should still be dual wielding, if I recall.
Does the dual wielding property still stay to Adult Rydia from Child Rydia?
Yeah, that one sticks.
Okay, I was just kind of curious there. Alright. The Mega Sisters fight really isn't that difficult if you've got HP. Yeah, we're definitely doing more damage. With Rosa. Before I wasn't even...
Spell list for Rydia here.
Yeah, it'd be great to know what she actually comes with. The one thing that I like about Rosa is her HP value. She makes really good tank. Alright, I guess I could try bouncing spells. Yeah, Golbez is dead. Let's try to bring it back and see if we can stay alive. I'm gonna try to throw the Secure 2 and see if that actually works. Okay, good. We got him back up. Ow. I'm gonna see if I can land the virus right on Cindy. That'd be great. Oh. Of course the wall's gonna run out right as I'm casting virus, but it doesn't really matter since Cindy's now dead. What is the actual formula for wall? The duration?
I actually don't know that one.
You never really looked into it or something?
It's not clear to me what values actually matter for that. For the two items that cause the wall effect, whenever you use them as items, for those ones it's actually pretty clear, because there's just a number that's directly the number they use. But for the spell that's cast, I just don't know if it scales with wisdom at all. It would make sense if it would, but if so, I don't know how. Status effect durations are not really a thing that this game does a lot of. Like, if you get hit by poison, it lasts forever, right? So, I don't know how long the duration is set for on things that high now.
Interesting. I'm about done with the Maga Sisters fight. Yeah, go ahead, Golbez. Use the absolute useless spell to be used. That's a black magic spell in battle. The warp spell.
Which one?
The warp spell.
Oh.
Yeah, he's charmed. And he just cast Toad on himself. You can't make this up. Tried using Toad again. Alright, Maga Sisters are down.
Yeah, so the warp spell incidentally does have graphics programmed into it for what it should look like in combat. And it looks very much so like the disrupt spell that trapdoors use. And incidentally, that same animation is very, very similar to what the exit spell looks like in Final Fantasy Legend 3, which was made at about the same time, as well as Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which follows a lot of the same logic. So essentially, the idea, I think, at one point, and they decided not to actually do this for this game, but they did do it for others, was that the warp spell would be used in combat to warp an enemy out of the combat. You would not receive experience for defeating the enemy, but you would no longer have to beat it to complete the current battle.
Like the exit spell in Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, right?
Exactly.
But if you're in a corner and that's the only thing you can do, it's kind of what you have to do, right? Are you back row glitch? No.
It's also used very, very, very extensively in the speedruns of both Mystic Quest and Legend 3.
Yeah, so Rose is about to die here. She served her purpose. Very much so. She was a big help.
So Rydia's in an interesting situation where she has ability set, but her NP is that of her child form. So she actually naturally has enough MP to cast Meteor. I'm just going to go ahead and do that here.
Oh, so she's got Tella's ability set?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
funny.
Rejoining, that's what she's got.
Oh, that's great. What's her equipment style?
Also Tella.
Oh, she's double Tella.
Yeah.
We can't have... Actually, we do have a white mage now. Whoa, Moon Princess! Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. I'm losing really badly to Crow, but I'm still doing good.
Yeah, I just started the final fight here of the race. We are racing to Golbez percent, which is the fight against the villain in the dwarf castle. It's my recommendation for if you are ever racing this particular randomizer, play to this point. This is
So a little over 2 hours is what this usually takes. And the ending point is right after a gauntlet of 4 boss fights in a row that all work very differently and all have different parties available, so it feels pretty good to end on this note overall.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is a thing. I'm probably going to be using Rudy as a white mage going forward. I think for this fight specifically, I'm going to want the extra evasion rather than the attack bar. Or the, not attack bar, the defense.
Alright, that's time.
GG's.
We've got 2 hours, 9 minutes, 14 seconds here. Got to finish things off with a Jin summon. Not one you see all that often.
Yeah, I got the Valvalis fight. Yeah, we have a darter for Valvalis fight, so I don't really think this fight's gonna last too long.
Yeah.
Valvalis is easy. So Dart, basically what that does is it bypasses any form of evasion. It is a 100% hit. Hit rate. It doesn't have any. It has 100% accuracy. So if I have dartables, I will use them. Like the Heart Axe that we have found earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's dartable. Valvalis only has a total of 3,000 HP because we do not have a jumper. Hopefully your what was it, Ni no Kuni went well, Moon Princess. I was watching earlier and then, well, Crow actually finally got on and took him long.
On starting this today.
Yeah, he lost track of time. I was kind of like, Crow, are you there? Oh, 6 HP, let's go. Okay, he's still alive. Let's see here. Edge dies, it's not the end of the world. I do want to keep Edward alive. Holy jeez Louise, that's a whole lot of healing. Cure 3. Looks like we're going to be able to get through. Yeah, there we go. Valvalis is dead.
Alright. 2 more fights, and honestly, they're not all that cool.
No, especially the fact that we have 2 characters that will be knowing the summons after the dolls, and dolls can just be hourglassed and what have you.
Yeah, I chose Medio for the dolls, Jin and Fire 2 for Golbez. Well, Fusoya in this case.
Yeah, that's a good option.
If your party is one that would struggle with these fights, the item shop, not the weapon or armor shops, but the item shop is available before you do the bosses in the Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, and
this is a new set of items for sale here.
Yeah, so that's a thing. So the Golbez fight and the Calbrena fight are pretty easy. Though, in the fact of the Golbez fight, if you do happen to have any paralyze or instant death protection on anyone, I don't know if putting instant death protection on someone that is not Paladin Cecil's replacement, if that gives, like, freezes the game or not.
What was the condition you were talking about?
The instant death protection on someone other than the Paladin Cecil replacement in the Golbez fight.
That's fine. Yeah, so what Shadow does is he will target one character, then the next, and the next. He doesn't actually care whether he succeeded in killing one. He's not going to wait on the rest of his script. He just, in his first 3 turns, he's going to target Yang and Kane and Rosa. I forget in which order. But those just are his first 3 turns. If you have anything that can get around it, whether it's immunity to instant death, or the ability to jump, or the ability to hide, any of those that will protect you will get you into the second phase of the fight without having lost the character, which is nice.
I think I'm going to have a very easy time with this. Hourglass is for sale, along with Door Rages. And I don't think I used my Inferno item I had earlier. So that's going to make the fight easier as well. The Golbez fight specifically. Because Golbez is weak against fire. Hourglass and my Thor Rages. Yeah, so what's the percent of actually getting virus on recall?
Pretty low. I think it is the lowest likelihood option. I forget how many out of how many possibilities they draw there, whether it's 64 or 256.
I don't think I got a Starbow. No, I don't. Let's sit through this. I don't think anyone has paralyzed protection. No, okay. The only thing is, if someone has instant death protection, I don't think anyone does. But Shadow just has 1 HP, which is why Mist Dragon is able to kill it with ease. Didn't you say if it was a soft lock or what have you, if you actually were able to kill the Shadow Dragon?
Yeah, if you kill Shadow Dragon yourself, that interrupts Golbez's script. Well, more precisely, it causes Golbez's script to fire early, It's the last thing that Shadow does that causes Golbez to become vulnerable again. So if you kill Shadow, then Golbez is invincible, which I consider that a soft lock, because now you cannot make any meaningful progress in the game because the enemy you have to beat is invincible.
Yeah.
But the game engine's still working. You still put in commands. You can potentially survive for a very long period of time. It's just you're never going to win.
Yeah, and with that, that is time.
All right. GG.
Thank you. And that was a really good practice race. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to show a lot